Hey guys, so for the week of May 11th, you have a new packet, and part of the math work for that week is from Envisions 12-4, lesson 12-4. And this deals with fractions on a number line, fractions less than one on a number line. So in this lesson, I want to do a quick review with you of how to set up a number line with fractions and how to show those fractions on a number line. So the pages that you have in your packet to complete look like this. And this is page 145, and then you have page 146 that goes with it. So let's go to my smart file that I've created. And I'm just going to show you a quick example of how this works in case you have forgotten or in case your parents are confused as to how this works. All right, so let's take a look. This comes right from the example that they give you at the top of page 145. So it says show 3/8 on a number line. Start by drawing a number line from 0 to 1. Put tick marks at the ends. Label the tick marks 0 and 1. So guys, the first thing that you have to remember is that when you are using a number line to show fractions, that you have to set your number line up with a tick mark on the very end, on the left end, and then another one on the right end. And you have to remember that those tick marks are always labeled with a 0 down at this end. And at the very end, since we're dealing with fractions less than 1, then we know that the end of the number line is going to represent 1 whole. All right, so it says that we are to show 3/8. So now you have to determine how many equal parts you've got to break your number line into. And we know how many equal parts by looking at our denominator. So our denominator, remember, denominator starts with D, so we want to look down on the fraction at the bottom part. The bottom number is your denominator, so it's 8. So that means we have to break this up into 8 equal parts. And I always teach my class to think about what kind of number that is. Is your denominator an even number or an odd number? If it's even, it makes things easier because we know if it's an even number, we can split it first right down the middle. Okay, so we're just cutting it in halves right now. Okay, now, so we have halves. Now, we can take our halves and cut each half in half, and that's going to create, if we do that on each side, you'll see that that now creates fourths, okay? So we have 4 equal parts. And then we can take our fourths, because 4 times 2 equals 8, we can take our fourths and cut each fourth in half. So again, notice I'm trying to find that middle spot, okay? Because I'm trying to make these parts, I'm trying to break these into equal parts. That's key. It looks like I might need to do some adjusting. Whenever working with fractions, remember the number one rule is that you have to make sure you're dealing with equal parts, okay? If you don't have equal parts, then it's really not showing true fractions, all right? So I can see that I need to adjust my marks a little bit. Sometimes it can be tricky. Your eyes kind of play tricks on you. So just kind of, and it doesn't have to be perfect because we know that no one does this exactly perfectly right. So that looks pretty close. So here's how you can check, all right? We're not counting the tick marks, remember. It's not 8 tick marks, it's 8 equal spaces. So we're counting the spaces in between the tick marks. So we have 1 space here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I have eighths. Now I need to label each of those tick marks, all right? So I know that the first mark after 0 would be 1/8. The next mark would be 2/8. Next, we would have 3/8. So notice our numerator is just going up by 1 each time, and my denominator is staying the same. 4/8, well, 4 is half of 8, so that means that this is going to be equivalent to 1/2. So notice this is the mark that splits the whole number line in half. And we have 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and then 8/8. Well, remember, if your numerator and your denominator are the same on a fraction, we know that that always is equivalent to 1 whole, okay? All right, so I have my number line broken up into eighths, but I'm not done because it says I need to show 3/8 on the number line. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I guess, I'm going to use a star, and you can use a dot. It does not matter, but I want to locate 3/8 and mark that on the number line. Now, remember, when you are marking a fraction on the number line, we don't mark it above it. We don't mark it below it. We mark it where the tick mark intersects with our number line, okay? And I totally just messed that up. Hold on a second. Let me back that up, undo that. Sorry about that. So I want to insert, use a star. So 3/8, I'm going to do it right here. There's my star. I'm going to move it right where that mark intersects with my number line. So there you have it. That's how you can show and represent a fraction by using a number line. So use this to help you as you go and complete similar problems on page 145. Now on 146, you have some other kinds of questions as well, but they all hit on this same concept. This is what you have to remember though, boys and girls. When you are dealing with fractions on a number line, your spaces, your parts that the number line is broken up into, you are trying your best to make them as close to being equal as you can, okay? Because if you don't have equal parts, then it's really not showing true fractions, all right? So hopefully this helps you guys out. Thanks for your time.